Whether you're a Boston Celtics fan or not is not the point here. I was super surprised to learn and understand a little bit more about Jaylen Brown, and I would consider him one of the more intellectual athletes of at least those that I've come across. He regularly experienced the stigma of being too smart for basketball since his youth. And as a kid, naturally wanting to play video games, his mother would make him write book reports. In high school, Brown was regularly enrolled in advanced placements and honors classes. And the summer before he attended college at Cal Berkeley, Brown enrolled in the 6-week summer bridge class. And the idea was to get the kids acclimated to what a college level course would be like. And so essentially he was doing intense reading daily as well as 8-page writing assignments. So Brown attended summer school. He was heavily recruited by major colleges at the age of 16, Kansas, Kentucky, UCLA, Michigan, UNC. Although athletics was important, he valued finding a school that had social activism involved, and that's what ended up landing him at Cal Berkeley. As a freshman, he enrolled in a master's level course called Cultural Studies of Sports and Education program. He was only at Cal for 1 year before he got drafted by the Boston Celtics in 2016. So Brown is the youngest person to actually deliver a lecture at Harvard. And one of the things he challenged his audience was judge athletes like him beyond physical skill on the court. He said at the lecture that there's a lot of athletes going to college and they're being pushed to take certain majors or safe classes, as he labeled it, and have nothing to show for when they graduate. I've seen that firsthand. I know a lot of friends that have gone to college, same thing, where they're getting degrees and going directions that aren't really going to set them up for success. He is the youngest person to have been elected as a VP of the Players Association, and he delivered a TED Talk at MIT. He's been offered an internship at NASA. His Juice Foundation partners with institutions, organizations, and for social change and leaders to bridge, opportunity gap for the youth in traditional underserved Black and Brown communities. So as I consider all this, it is so cool to see the type of environment he was brought in. So the two things that I take away from this and Jaylen Brown and his life was that we are a product of the environment and surroundings that we're in. Jaylen grew up in a very educated, focused environment, and so he grew up accordingly. I think it's up to each and every one of us to recognize what environment is around us and recognize what's going to help us excel and achieve our various goals and determine, am I surrounded by the right people? Am I in the right situation? And if I'm not, what can I do to make my environment better? And as a youth, as a kid, that might be a little bit more difficult, but it definitely doesn't prevent us from trying. The second takeaway I had here is that basketball is a great sport, but there's so much more to life. Learning and growing. Plus, I respect when any athletes are finding ways to give back and make their community better. So basketball, I love the game, but as once I was told is that it's just a game. There's a lot more to life with people, learning, serving those around you, which bring greater fulfillment than any game, in this case basketball, could. So again, you're a product of your environment and surroundings, and basketball is a great sport, but there is definitely so much more to life.